So yeah, we'll just take a moment, vibe, and chill. And to be fair, like I mean, Megan and I were actually talking about this during a recording a couple days ago. But like we actually, and you guys can tell us your opinion on this if you want. But we're actually considering doing some kind of fun recording where we talk about video game box arts because I think that's kind of fun. I like video game box arts. And just kind
Yeah.
of saying what we think is good and what's garbo. Because as I mentioned, and see when you see this online, when you see this up on the YouTube channel, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. That's the video he did that he's talking about." But yeah, we're just talking about it because we're talking about a specific games box art, and I was like, you know what? Game box arts are underrated. They're underrated.
They
You look
are.
at them, but you don't really talk about them. But they're actually very, very important. Because if you get it right, you could have a lot of people picking up your game. And if you get it wrong, well, then people might just think your game's garbage, right? So I don't know when we're gonna do that. But to be fair, if for some reason I can't do Ghost Trick, we could just literally do that live. I don't have anything planned out, mind you. But hey, sometimes it's just how streams go, right? Sometimes we do it live.
I mean, I was kind of hoping I'd have a bit more time to think about it.
I mean, to be fair, Megan, I'm gonna be honest. I think whenever we do get around to do it, I think it'll be part 1. And I say that because there's a lot of video game box that are out there. And yeah, we could
That's
take
true.
suggestions and everything, right? Like I mean, I have a few in mind that I think would be good for it, but maybe not today. Maybe we'll give Megan some extra time. But in the future, I'll probably make a post and I'll just say, hey, give us some box art to look at. Recommend it. Now, obviously, some box arts might be different depending on whether you've seen the game or not or played the game or not. But at the same time, you know, I feel like a box art should be able to be seen by someone who's never played the game and go, okay, well, that's good, right? So to be fair, it might even be better for games you've never actually played.
I mean, it might be.
So I'm trying to think what I'd even use because, like, for me, I know of a couple I'd probably use. Now I won't talk about them right now, right? Because like I said, we'll save
Yeah.
that for like a separate video itself or a stream itself where we just kind of go over that. But like a few game box arts off the top of my head that I can think of that would be fun to talk about would be Final Fantasy X, because I have a lot I could say about Final Fantasy X in terms of like its box art. See, Bass Akron says, do you have at least a favorite box art? Yeah, Mass Effect, actually. I consider Mass Effect one of my favorite box arts. Because, like, there's the... okay, see, I know I said we'd save it for a video, but hold on. I need to talk... We'll talk about this as well during the video, just in case this gets completely cut out from the YouTube release. But, like... what I love about Mass Effect's box art is it really invokes the sense of adventure and it reminds you a lot of Star Wars. It's literally just a Star Wars poster.
Yeah,
You know?
basically.
So it's so good. It shows the baddies. It shows like other baddies that you aren't even quite aware of until much later in the game. And it shows your ship and it shows your character and it shows Ashley for some reason on it. I think it shows Garrus as well. I don't, but Ashley, see the weird thing about Ashley being on it though, is that she has a very prominent like position on the box.
Yeah.
When I don't think she should. Right.
Probably not.
I'm not saying that because I don't like Ashley. Right. It's actually not that at all. It's just I don't like it when they do that on a box art. Like. Yeah, a box art example that I really don't like, funnily enough, is Heavy Rain. I don't like Heavy Rain's box art, but it's not because it's like lame or anything. It's just it puts Madison, which is one of the main characters in it, in the center when it shouldn't be her and it should be Ethan instead, right?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like that one. And why I like the European one more, which is why we'll probably get on that a little bit more when we get around to. Because I love the European box art for Heavy Rain. I think it's perfect, actually.
Yeah.
But the North American box art is garbage. Really not
I
good.
wish we got it here.
Oh, that would have been great. For sure. What about you, Megan? Do you have like a favorite box art?
Um, I mean, obviously there's a lot of really good ones. Like I've always really liked the Ratchet and Clank box arts, but that's mostly just nostalgia, I think. When it comes to like pure design, especially when we're talking about different regions, I really like the Japanese cover of Dark Souls over the American copy, where he's just going through the fog wall. I think it's kind of interesting because he's kind of just sitting there by the bonfire. It's very chill. You don't really know why he's there. And I don't know. I feel like if I saw that in a store, it would make me pretty intrigued.
Yeah, you know what, Megan? Okay, so we'll probably talk about these box arts again, right? Like when we get to the actual thing, we'll consider this a preview. We'll gauge interest this way, right? So hold on. So you said Dark Souls, right?
Yeah.
But the European Dark Souls,
The Japanese Dark Souls.
Japanese Dark Souls. Okay, excuse me. So give me like 1 second here, because I wanna. Well, I'll take this opportunity to put some of these up on screen as well, right?
Okay.
So like here we have my Mass Effect thing, which I said was my favorite. Now this is a very low res version of it, right? But it's it's still a box art. So this is the Mass Effect box art right here. Should I stream it for you, Megan? I probably should, right?
I mean, you can. I'm just watching it on the stream, though. It'll just be a little delayed.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just stream it to you, because why not?
Okay, fine.
Because I mean you're part of this. So like the Mass Effect box art here, once again, probably talk about it again. But here you have, and obviously this is all going to be non-spoilery because we don't want to spoil the games, right?
Yeah.
But see, it invokes a lot of Star Wars in it. So let me get like Star Wars movie poster, like episode, like was it episode 4 or something? Is the one I'm probably thinking of.
It's probably episode 4, I think.
Yeah, episode 4 is probably the closest. So like, well, that's an eBay listing. Only $11. It's actually not too bad for like a Star Wars poster, I guess.
Yeah, not too bad.
So this is the original cinema movie poster. So like, let's use this as an example. I think this will come out fine. So like, see, you can notice like the Star Wars influence between them, right? You have the main characters there. You have some of the like side characters off to the side. You have the ships doing their thing, and then you have the baddie like behind everybody, right? Basically, same thing with Mass Effect. Not as busy, right?
Yeah.
Like not as busy, but you can see the influence, which I appreciate. Right.
I do like how they have the Normandy just flying over there, too, on the
See,
right side.
well, that's what I like about it, right? Because it shows the sense of adventure. It has the Normandy flying out. It has your ship. It has your main character, Shepard. Now, I kind of think he should have a helmet on because it can be a female Shepard, right? So I kind of feel like maybe a helmet should be on, just to kind of keep it like ambiguous, since you
I mean,
can
yeah.
change the gender, and you can change your facial style and everything too. But like you have the main character in the center as he should be. You have the light that draws the eye. You have Garrus over here who is really good. I guess Ashley isn't as in the center as I remembered her being, but she's looking like very sultry. So like I'm not really too sure on that one. To be fair, I don't know why she has her helmet on, if I'm being honest.
I don't know, maybe because you originally find her with her helmet?
Maybe. So you have two of the main, like two of what I would probably consider the main party members. And then you have like spaceships flying over here. That's probably just like a Star Wars reference. You have the Geth like in the back being all spooky and mysterious. And then you have the eyes of the baddie like up top. I think it's really good, right? It's really good.
Yeah.
If I were a new player and I saw this like just on the shelf, I'd say, wow, this looks like a sci-fi adventure and there's a big looming threat. Like that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And like, oh, they're like the weird dudes with like light eyes. Like they're pretty neat, right? Like, so I think that's really cool, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Bass says, I like a lot of the old NES Mega Man box arts are fun, like the old Mega Man ones. Yeah, well, the very first Mega Man box art is pretty not good, from what I remember. But a lot of the Mega Man ones are kind of fun. Oh, he said least favorite. Oh, my bad. Least favorite is Heavy Rain, probably, from my end.
I
Uh,
mean, I'd say Heavy Rain's pretty far up there. I'm just trying to think if there's any other ones in particular I really don't like, so I can have something a little bit different from you.
Heavy Rain box art. Let me find it. Yeah, so this here, right, is the I should probably change the name of the stream actually just for a moment since like technically it's not really Ghost Trick anymore.
That's true.
Uh
We kind of have deviated a little bit.
Hold on. Waiting for file corruption fix. I can't type. Fucking game box ours. I can't spell box. I keep typing C instead of X. Then we'll change it briefly to a just chatting stream, I guess, considering that's just what this is for the moment. Okay, so now we're good. Now we're solid. Missed out a comma there. Wait, did I? Oh wait, yeah. Okay. Plus the box art you remember in the general channel. Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably talking about yourself. I was gonna say I didn't even send it yet. You wouldn't have been able to see it. I remember in the general channel. You don't remember if those are Amblin or not. They're all the same guy, Drew Struzen. Okay. You don't like the North American one, much for the European one for Heavy Rain, or are you talking the other one you're talking about? Probably the other one you're talking about. Sorry, I'm all
Mm,
over the place. So this is the Heavy Rain box art, right? That I was talking about. Look at it, right? This is probably my least favorite box art. Oh yeah, for Heavy Rain, yeah, exactly, right? Because like, look at this. Look at this right here, right? So on like so it doesn't look bad, right? Necessarily. Now this one might actually look bad if you know more about the game, right? Because like now once again no spoilers for Heavy Rain or anything like that. But you have like the main characters up here, right? That's pretty good. You should have all the main playable characters like up on the box art, right? This is how it should be. You have the origami figure in the center as it should be, and the rain coming down as it should be, right?
hmm
It's still very like bare bones and basic, but that's not really like too bad necessarily. However, what I take most issue with is Madison being in the center because she isn't the main focus in the game. She is a part of the game, but she herself is not the main focus. Ethan is over here. Ethan is the main focus of the game, right? It's his son that gets kidnapped, right? So therefore, he should be the one in the center where Madison is, because it's his story first and foremost, right? Now, now I wouldn't be surprised if there are some people that watch this and say, "Oh, it's just because it's a woman, isn't it?" It's like, well, no, it's not that at all, right? Like, it's literally not that. It's just I feel like around this time period in particular, in terms of video games and movies, there was this like kind of weird idea that okay, so you want a nice loving parent going after their child, you have it be a woman, right? And I'm not even kidding
yeah.
because you look at the Silent Hill movie, and I'll use the Silent Hill movie as an example of this. So in Silent Hill, the game, you play Harry Mason, I believe. No, it's yeah, it's Harry Mason. And he is looking for his daughter, his lost daughter in Silent Hill, right? Which is great. He's a dad trying to find his kid. In the movie for Silent Hill, which uses the original plot for the game, essentially, I mean, it deviates things, obviously, right? But it's still basically the game storyline, but told in a movie form, right? What do they do? Well, it's not Harry Mason anymore going after his daughter; it's his wife, right? They changed it, so it's the mother looking for the daughter,
Mm,
which I think is rather unnecessary. And I don't say that because she's a woman, but I feel like, it's like you can tell they changed it because they see it as like, well, you can't see a dad in that position because like the mother is the one with that kind of paternal instinct to like save their child or something like that, right? You can tell that's why they did it,
Yeah.
you know? Otherwise, they like the gender of the main character doesn't really matter. So why not just kind of keep it, Harry? Why change that? Well, I wouldn't mind that they changed it, but it's the fact that they changed it for that purpose, and they changed it for that purpose. Because I think I even heard about it like around the time that that's just kind of how the thought and idea was that you can't really have like it the idea was it just made more sense for a woman to be the paternal one that would try to save their kid. So that's why they changed stuff like that, which is why I believe Madison, plus she's the sex figure in the game too, right? So like, that's why she's here, but it shouldn't be her. It should be Ethan. Now that's my issue with Heavy Rain for the North American box art. But on the flip side, you take the European box art, which is I believe right here. Look at that. Isn't that
Yeah.
perfection? Right? Isn't that just straight up perfection? It's simple once again, and it doesn't include the main characters, but it's the mystery of it. It's a mystery game, right?
Yeah.
It's a game about solving the mystery of who the origami killer is. This is his calling card. It's dark in the background. There's a slight bit of fog. It's raining. And even the title is like wavy and foggy and kind of hard to make out, right?
Yeah.
Like that's perfect. It's actually so perfect that I wish we had that because that's such a good cover art, you know?
It is. I kind of wish it was like that. It's kind of funny though because I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the direction of the game and they moved from having Madison being the main character to being a side character. Because they've said in, I believe it was some behind the scenes stuff on the disc for Heavy Rain, that they actually did a 3D model for Madison that does not look like the actual actor because they decided that the actor was actually not hot enough and they wanted to have the quote unquote sex figure.
That is
So
true.
I
I
wouldn't be
believe you mentioned that,
surprised
yeah.
if they featured her that because they're like, oh, she has sex appeal. Even though the game is like not really about that at all. She's actually put in a lot of interesting scenarios throughout the course of the game. I won't say any more, but yeah, I don't like hearing. But I did think of a one that I really hate.
Okay, before we go on to that one, can I just have a look at the Dark Souls one quick?
Yeah, sure.
So I just wanna see it. Because I know which one you're talking about, but I want to be able to show everybody. So it's European, right? Dark Souls. You said Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
Now I actually do kind of have like a case I can make for the North American cover for that one at least. Which is also kind of why I want to talk about it. So like here is the cover for Dark Souls European, right? Or Japanese, I mean, Japanese.
Yeah.
Really good. I will just say you are right. This is a really good one to have. But first, let me just read what Bass says because I don't want to ignore the chat
Yeah.
right now that I've gotten on this fun little tangent. Heavy Rain's European box art is just the crane, and that's more striking. Exactly, it's so good, right? It's just such a striking image, and it tells you so much about what you can expect, right? It's so perfect.
It does. And they even did a better job with the rain on that one too, because you can even tell looking at the bottom that there's clearly a lot more rain falling down on this street because of the way it's splashing up and like building up on the street. If you look at the American one, it seems like it's almost a bit more subdued.
Yeah,
It kind of just looks like a puddle.
yeah, right. Like it's not. Yeah, there's really not much there. Now, granted, the puzzle could have meaning, but you'd have to play the game to be able to really know that, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Bass says, "Why is rain italicized and heavy not?" Is it?
Because it's probably read heavy rain. A lot of emphasis on the rain, I guess.
Let's see. Bass says that absolutely tracks given the horrible incident with that Elliot Page nude model without his consent. Yeah, I don't know, man. Things back then were
Yeah.
strange. Things back then were strange. So we'll have a look at the European box art for this too, right? For Dark Souls. But starting off with Japanese, It does look really good, right? Megan makes a very good point that it kind of gives this sense of intrigue, right? If you see this on a store shelf, you're going to be curious, right? Because here you have this mysterious guy whose back is to you, which already is very intriguing. You see his hand even is on the sword, right?
Yeah,
Which is also intriguing, kind of getting ready to strike at a moment's notice if need be. You have the bonfire going up, which, as we all know, is very important in Dark Souls.
yeah,
And then you have the ruins of buildings. Why are they there? And just the darkness like ahead, right? Going into the
yeah,
mystery, you know? Like it's good. It's really good. Um so I do really like this box art quite a lot. Um I'd say I'd agree that it is probably my favorite from the Dark Souls box arts.
yeah,
But I love things with like a mystery to them. I love a box art that really makes you think like you know what's going on, kind of gives you that like I like to be fair, I would take this as a poster and put it on my wall, like it's that good because I
yeah,
just love how his back is to you, right? And that he's kind of staring into the fire but also staring into the darkness, you know,
yeah.
like it's really really interesting to me. um the European box art, well, let me have a look at the North American box art, or is this also the European one? It does say Peggy 16, so this one might be both North American and European.
Oh, you mean Japanese and European?
Well, no, because this one's Japanese.
Oh,
I mean
okay. You're
North
looking at
American
something
and
I can't
European.
see. Never mind.
No, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I'm finding all the box arts on a separate window. So just
No,
so I
that's fair. I
can,
just see you moving the mouse back. I just forgot. Don't mind me.
yeah. So this one I believe is the North American box art, but it also says Peggy 16 here, which I know is the European
Yeah, so
thing.
maybe it was
So
both.
maybe it was for both. I actually do like this one. I know you don't. I know you don't like this one at all, but I actually think it's pretty all right. It's not
I
as
mean,
good in my opinion as this one, right?
yeah, like I don't think it's necessarily bad, but I think it just changes the tone from it being about a mystery about this world and I don't know. I get a sense of like foreboding from him sitting by the fire with his
Hmm.
hand on the sword, like you said, to it being more similar to something like God of War, where it's like an action game. You're gonna go fight the man, and he's just ready to brawl, right?
I mean, yeah, like I get that, right? I do 100% that it's not as good as the Japanese one. I don't think it should be like as hated though. And here's my reason. Because it once again just invokes something very important to the game. He's going through a fog wall, right?
Yeah.
He's going through a fog wall, something very important and something every Dark Souls player will know about. And then you have like the souls here, which could mean a couple different things. Like it could be you know, the other players that could try to help you, right? Like the spirits that you summon.
Yeah.
Or just the fact that there are other players around. But the fact that they all look very similar to each other almost makes you think, well, maybe it's supposed to represent all the times he's gone through the fog wall to fight this boss that he's probably
Mm,
going for, right?
that's
But
true,
yet
because
he's
yeah, they do look like the same person.
yeah, but yet he's still determined, ready to go in and try to kick some ass, right?
That's fair.
So you know, once again, I don't think it's as good, but I do have my reasons for thinking this is actually okay. At the very least, it's not as good as this. I think this is better, but this is still pretty okay. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Bass says I really like the European box art. I read that. Oh, is that the Japanese box art or European? But yeah, I really like it. Yeah, listen, I think this is Japanese just because it has the Japanese characters in the lower left here.
Yeah, I think Zero is also their equivalent of ESRB.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So what was the other one that you were saying?
So I will send a picture to you on Discord if you want.
Yeah,
But
sure.
this is specifically the Batman Arkham City Game of the Year edition.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that's more than fair, I think.
Mostly because it just, I don't know, like I said, it adds way too much text on it. And like if you compare it with like the Batman Arkham City, oops, I'm trying to type and it's not working. Arkham City,
Okay, I don't know. Okay,
like
it's
I
gonna
don't
open
know,
this. Oh my god. Oh
like
my
there's
god,
that
it's
one
opened up so
there.
many things.
I like the whole box art of him just like sitting
Um,
over Gotham watching.
hey Megan, if you could you send me like maybe a link to where they are? I can't seem to copy and just paste them. It like opens a link and then it's a download file for me, which
Uh,
is a little
I'm not sure
awkward.
why, because I'm just sending you the image link. I guess I could just send you
Yeah,
the
no,
website links.
yeah, if you could, because every time I just go to paste it in, it downloads the image to my computer, which I'd rather not have. I can just type it in here actually, because I'm just typing in Arkham City and I'm just copying, like I'm just copying the image. So hold on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, um, Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if I just open it like this should be fine. Sorry, Megan. You sending
It's
it over
okay.
Discord is a smart idea, but it doesn't seem to like with what we're doing here. Because if I do it like this now we're Gucci, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is the Game of the Year edition for Batman Arkham City. Um, yeah, not
Yeah.
good. I think this one's very notorious for being well Garbo.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
So not really much to say. It has too much on it. Too much, like way too much. Like you don't need the 10 out of 10. You don't need the 5 out of 5, like from etc. You don't need the bonus content includes. Literally all of this is pointless. And then the name of the game is just off in the side, like off in the corner here. It's almost like it's worse than like the rating that it's getting. So
I do
like
find it funny that they have an expiration date for the bonus content printed right on the cover.
you're right, they do. Just pretty funny. And then you have Batman wiping blood off his face. I mean, like that's fine, but like everything else is just. And then you have just like Batman like behind here again for some reason. There's a lot here that's wrong.
Yeah.
Like absolutely not really anything to say about it. You can just look at it and just realize that yeah, it's awful, right? Um. Oh yeah, Bass is that the one with way too many reviews on it? All right, yeah, that's the one. I hate it so much. Yeah. I think I remember Yahoo Games, very high quality source I know, giving Arkham City an 11 out of 10. It's time to play a game that we play in the mirror every day. Who's the most insecure? An inspiration,
Yeah.
an expiration date for bonus content. What the heck? I know, right?
That's kind of a common thing, unfortunately, but usually it's in a pamphlet inside the case and not on the box art itself.
And then we have the normal Arkham City box art, which actually looks pretty all right. Just give me 1 second here. Which I believe this is it. This is the one you sent me.
Yeah, that is kind of funny, Bass. I do like the idea of it being very insecure, so it puts all the reviews on the cover.
Yeah. So like here, so this is Batman Arkham City's like normal cover, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's perfectly fine. It has the bloody knuckle still. It has the blood on his cheek. It has the blood on his on his other knuckle too. Um,
Yeah.
but see, like this is fine. I do think it's a little bit weird that the Batman Arkham City is just on the right. You know,
A little bit.
I feel like it should still be like above. So that's still a little bit strange to me. But besides that, I mean, like he's chilling up on a roof, like on a gargoyle. Interestingly enough, overlooking
Yeah.
Arkham. And he's Batman, right? Like that's what Batman does. He protects the city, and that's what he's doing, very clearly. You know?
Yeah. Like, I think I agree with you. I think the title probably should be up top and a little bit bigger, but I guess they probably did it this way because they wanted it to stand out. Because almost every game has their title on the top. Plus, they probably wanted Batman to be bigger on the box itself.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like it's not bad, but I mean, I guess it's also kind of meant to look like a movie poster, kind of meant
Yeah.
to give that feeling, which is fine. I think it's okay. To be honest, I don't think it's like something amazing, but I think it's okay at the very least. It tells you enough. It's Batman protecting Arkham City, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty all right. So so this one's your most hated, you said?
Yeah, I've just really not a fan of it, mostly because of the extra text and stuff. It's kind of obnoxious. I
Mm.
was looking at a couple other ones, and the other one that kind of stood out to me was Okami for the Wii. Not
Okami for
because
the
the box
Wii.
art's bad necessarily, but apparently they took a low res IGN image and made it the box art cover for the Wii version. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay, well, give me one sec. So Okami for the Wii, you
Yeah,
said.
it's in that other article I sent you if you want to see it in there. You can find the
Um,
PS2 version to compare it to if you want.
well, no, it's okay. I think it's just kind of easier for me to Google it than go through articles and stuff,
Okay,
which I
that's fair.
appreciate. I appreciate you like helping out, but I don't know. I just don't want to open up like another thing just to find it and then find another thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
When I
no, I
can
get
just
it.
type it into Google. So for the Wii, so that'd be this one, correct?
Yeah, like it's not necessarily a bad cover. They
That's
said
all right.
on there in the article that there was the IGN logo that was very badly photoshopped out. I wasn't able to find it myself personally. It could just
IGN
be maybe
logo.
under one of the logos. But yeah, it's like a low res image compared to the original PS2, which is much more artistic.
So I'm not seeing the IGN logo on any of these. Oh wait, is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, I found it. So you would be talking about this one. You can see the IGN
Yeah.
logo just on there. Which,
Yeah.
in that case, I mean, yeah, I don't think they should print that kind of stuff on a box art. There's no need. It's not gonna make me interested in the game. If it's like, oh, 9 out of 10 from IGN, I don't really care, right? What I care
Yeah.
about is just good, solid box art. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
which they already had on the PS2 version.
yeah. Now this box art for the Wii, like without the IGN logo, pretty okay. You just have Amaterasu there. You have like the heart pedals, which I don't really remember much of. And then you just have the Okami logo. Like it's not great, but like it's okay. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't really tell you much though. Is the thing. It just kind of shows you the art, very Japanese painting inspired, and the name of the game and Amaterasu.
Yeah.
Contrast that with the PlayStation version, which I think Megan is correct. I think it is better. We'll just get rid of the IGN one because we don't really need that anymore. This one's pretty all right. Once again, kind of gives you the idea of a Japanese painting. Amaterasu with the flame because she's like the sun goddess, I believe, right, in Japanese
Yeah.
folklore. So it's like the sun is here. It kind of makes it more aware that it is the sun behind the word Okami,
Yeah.
right? Because you have the flame going from Amaterasu's back around it, kind of giving you the same look as what you'd get from like a sun, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Amaterasu in the center, as it should be with the main character. And then just little bits of like I say, it just kind of looks like Japanese art, which is the point. It should, right?
The other thing I really like about this cover too is you can kind of see her tail has ink on it. Now, a
Mm,
big mechanic of the game is drawing with ink. So I
that
kind of
is
like
true.
how they put that parallel into the box.
That is true. It is really good, right? That is really good. So yeah, pretty good box art. Um, let's see. Let me just have a look. See. Still not a fan of this, but it's fine with the Batman Arkham City one, I'm guessing, right? Yeah, that's kind of my thought too. Like, it's fine. Not fantastic, but the Batman Arkham one is fine.
Yeah.
It's funny I mentioned it. Oh, is that the one you showed in the Discord? I didn't actually look at the Discord yet. I know you said you were posting one. Oh no, you posted Vectronom. Yeah, we'll open up this one too, because we'll copy that image.
I've never heard of that game.
Much for the original box art. Me too, with Okami. I very much prefer the original box art. I think it's so much better.
Yeah.
I cannot copy that. Hold on. Let me just Google it. Let me Google, so I can find that myself. So Vectronom, I believe. So I think I just want to make sure I'm getting the correct one. Yeah, okay. So video game plus. Let's open up the image. Do. So this is it, apparently. I think it's all right.
Hmm.
Now, not knowing anything about the game, does this make me interested? So it's very colorful, and you have the cube, which is white, which very clearly stands out, and then you have all these other colorful cubes on the name.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm guessing it's very puzzly, probably involves colors to some degree.
Probably.
Um,
Probably involves a lot of geometric shapes with those puzzles.
Probably a lot of geometric shapes, probably, yeah, cube stuff, probably changing the cube's color to do some of those puzzles, if I had to guess. I think it's pretty good box art. I'm not going to say it's one of my favorites, but it's very simple. Probably tells you all you really need to know, right? And I like the colors of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how they used like a lot of the green, the orange, and the purple because those aren't really a lot of colors that we see together, so they kind of stand out a little bit.
Yeah, they stand out, right? I'm trying to think if there's any reason the name would be like that, like in three separate like lines, like Vectronom. I think that's
Well,
all
Bass
right.
Backwards says it's a rhythm game, so maybe it has to do with the rhythm.
Potentially. I guess that's true. I guess I could see the kind of circly color wheel kind of going here, like the circly colors. I could see that kind of being like reminiscent of I like I don't know what the word is, but kind of like a beat, right? With
Yeah,
each color representing like a different beat.
yeah, that makes sense.
So, admittedly, I don't really get rhythm from the box art, but to be fair, it's very simple, very simplistic, but it makes you interested still, right? The colors alone make me interested in the box art, and I would pick it up and take a look at the back for sure, right?
Yeah, it definitely would stand out on a store shelf.
It would definitely stand out on a store shelf for sure. Another box art that I really, really like personally, but I like the European version a lot more is Resident Evil 4, like the original Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Now, this I have a fair few things I could say about. Um, so Resident Evil 4. So this is the North American cover for Resident Evil 4. It's not bad, right? Um, Kind of gets the point across. You have Leon, the main character, in the center. Um, the 4 is over on the left, which is weird and different. But once again, it's awkward, but I feel like it's kind of meant to be because it's like it's Resident Evil, right? It's spooky, kind of meant to throw you a bit off balance, right? So it's like, oh, it's Resident Evil 4. Well, the 4 would be over here, but it's over here. That makes you, yeah, it makes you feel kind of uneasy, you know? Like if you're just kind of look
Yeah,
at it, kind of gives you that sense of like unease and things aren't right. And then you have Leon doing like an action guy pose, and then you have like all the Ganados like in the background, and then you have the Chainsaw Man, Dr. Salvador, with his chainsaw, right? It's not a super great box art, but it kind of so like what would it tell you if you were to look at this, right?
um, well, without any prior knowledge to Resident Evil, to me, like it does look like it has horror, but it's more of an action game. It looks
Yeah.
like you're kind of ready just to fight and take everyone down. You're not necessarily trying to hide from the monsters like a lot of other horror games kind of work.
Hmm.
Which I think, at least from what I've played of Resident Evil 4 and what I know about Resident Evil 4, is a bit more accurate because it is more of like an action horror game versus just a horror game.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I just want
Although
to
I find
see.
it interesting that they made the clouds pink. I'm almost wondering if that was intended to be red, but they decided to change it.
Yeah, I'll kind of give my thoughts on that here in 1 second because I might be able to answer that maybe. But I just want to
Okay.
read what Bass says here because I want to make sure the chat is read.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's because every stage has 3 parts. This is for Vectronom, by the way. So we'll go back to Vectronom real quick. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it's because every stage has 3 parts. I did like what I played, and also the little cubes are collectibles. Okay, so the little cubes are collectibles. Okay, so that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like it
So like,
visually, even
yeah.
if it doesn't communicate things the best. Yeah, like visually, it looks great. I love the colors, like I said, right?
Yeah.
Um, And I like the color choices. I even like how the color like in the rings here are different from the little pathway that they made.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's cool. Like it's nice. Like visually, it looks really good. Like I said, maybe it doesn't really communicate what the game is, but the colors alone get you interested. You know, it's gonna draw your eye towards it. You're gonna pick it up. You're gonna be like, "Oh, well, what's this?" And then you'll read the back, and then you'll know what the game is.
Yeah,
Right?
like I'm sure the back would probably give you more details on that though. I know at least when it comes to Switch games in Canada, because we have to have everything in English and French, there's generally not a lot on the back of the game case, unfortunately. But I imagine because this is Peggy, it would probably be fine.
I mean, probably, yeah. Um, so Bass says with the Resident Evil 4 box art, gotta be honest, not the biggest fan of this. I prefer the European slash PAL version. Japanese box art is good too. Me too. But I will say this about the NA one, it does communicate what the game is. Because Megan is right, very much an action oriented game, and you can tell that from the cover, right?
Yeah.
That Leon's there to like kill people. No, that horde behind him, it may be scary, but I mean he's ready to take them down. The pinkish purplish clouds, reddish clouds, kind of they might have honestly chosen that just because the color is once again kind of uneasy, kind of gives you like and the game takes place like in the fall, right? So it kind of gives you like a fall kind of spooky
Okay.
vibe, I guess, right? Kind of like this weird pink mist kind of taking over. Not great, mind you, but I mean, yeah, like the cover is okay. Now, however, we contrast that with say uh European. We'll check out the Japanese one too. They're both basically the same, I think. I don't remember which one I prefer the most. This one might be. Oh, this one's the PC and this one's the GameCube. We'll do the GameCube one. So the GameCube European copy of RE4 I think is much better. I actually like it a lot. And that is right here, right? Now this one
Yeah.
I like a lot. Yeah. Because it doesn't really give you the action aspect, but and I've said this a lot with Resident Evil 4, even when playing through the game on stream and through the remake on stream as well. That one thing I love about Resident Evil 4 is the setting, right? But particularly the opening portion of the game where you're in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Because I've always seen the woods as like this. It's a really creepy place, especially in the fall. And when you look at this, it gives you a really spooky vibe, right? You have the woods, right, that have taken over the majority of the screen. You have the sky up here with the birds flowing around, flying around. But then, like here in the center, you have the guy with the chainsaw, right? It's spooky, you know.
Yeah.
So overall, really good. I really like it. Like, what are your thoughts, Megan? Like, let's hear you say. Like, I think you're playing Pokemon and still doing your eggs. Heard you button mashing, but just
I wasn't
because.
button mashing.
But I'm sorry, Megan. I'm getting to ask for a little bit more focus while we talk box arts because I want more than just gas.
I mean, I do like the ambience and like the mystery of this one. I do like how you don't really know like what's behind the Chainsaw Man or even in the woods itself. It seems like because the birds are flying around, they must have got spooked by something.
Mm.
And I do like how it kind of contrasts the title because like it now has like the red border. The font looks a little bit spookier in my opinion. And like the 4 even seems a little bit broken.
Yeah, a bit, right? So like it just kind of gives off a really spooky vibe, you know, which is one of the things I like uh about it in particular. Japanese cover. I don't quite remember. I think it's very similar. Um is this it or is it no, which one is it? Which one's the Japanese cover? Um I don't know if it's this one or if it's a different one. It might be this one. Well, because that's Resident Evil, not be Biohazard. So this one. See the Japanese one I don't really like quite as much. Here, let me get it up. Like it's okay, but like I prefer European by like a lot. So Biohazard 4. See, I think just very basic, but like It's not like terrible. You have Leon here in the center, main character. You have the person he protects, Ashley. Then you have the mysterious woman in red, who, if you know the other games, is Ada, right? Um, but otherwise, it's just very basic. I don't really care for it that much, you know?
Yeah, like there's not really a lot to this. This is like, well, to be honest, if you didn't tell me any different, I would say this is probably the American copy.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
generally have a person standing with their back turned to the camera. They got a gun. Maybe they got a couple other characters in there, but there's not really a lot of stuff that tells you it's a horror game. Like I would kind of hope there'd be a little bit more in the white space, maybe to kind of show like maybe it look like it's in some trees or like I don't know, maybe there's blood splatter in the background or something like that. I do like the
Mm.
little like radioactive symbol they got in the bottom corner there. I don't know what that says, mind you.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, to be honest.
But I would assume it would probably say something interesting. I'm actually kind of curious what Google Translate will tell me.
Yeah, you do that. While you do that, I'm gonna just get the other box art over that I think is the one Bass Backwards might be talking about. Um. Oh wait. Oh, is it this one? Oh wait. Here's literally all the cover arts. Actually, are these all of them? Yeah, it is. Well, it's not all of them, but it's the other ones that we can talk about. I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll pull this one up.
So apparently it says this game contains violent scenes and grotesque expressions. So it's just an ESRB thing, basically.
Okay.
Okay, not quite as interesting, but
Not
makes sense.
quite as interesting, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't know which one you would have saw, Bass. I can't seem to see it anywhere. Oh wait, no, wait. Okay, I see this one actually. Okay, so actually, I do have another one I can show. We'll show this one
Got a
first
lot
though,
of different
since I
versions, huh?
well they did because they also had the PS2 version and the Wii versions, right?
Oh, they were different on the other consoles? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you have the Wii edition here for Japanese in the upper left, the Wii edition for America in the middle, and European once again being the best on the right on both of these actually, right? I love the European covers. I don't know, Europe does good, right? Japan can be good, but like more often than not, Europe like has them beat. You know, because like if you look at these, like honestly, the Wii edition for 4, just kind of like it's like clip art, to be honest. You just have Leon doing stock pose, the Gonros doing stock pose, Mendez doing his stock pose, which I think is actually from like some concept key art or something. I'm pretty sure same
Wouldn't
thing
be
with Leon.
surprised.
So like that's just very lazy in my opinion. Biohazard, the Japanese one is just it's just that one zoomed in. It's the North American one zoomed in. Like it literally is because you can even see the guy's arm there, right?
That's kind of funny, actually. They
So
just framed it differently.
yeah, it's literally just zoomed in on Leon. And then you have European one. Once again, it's spooky. It has the Chainsaw Man coming through the woods. Is it representative of what the game is? Because the game's not really all that scary. Not really. So like it doesn't represent what the game is, but it's a good cover art. I like it a lot, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
do find interesting that the PS2 version, the Chainsaw Man's a little bit farther back, though.
yeah, right. A little bit farther back, probably to make the woods like a bit more imposing. You know.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, European editions are great. I don't know what the one over here is, the limited edition. I guess it's just the limited edition cover art, which is
Yeah,
okay. Like that's okay. It's not great, but like it's okay. Just has a bloody handprint. Yeah.
yeah.
But like Europe, absolutely the best. Um, Bass says I'm
See,
gonna
for
make
that
dinner
limited
now.
edition. Oh, okay, sorry.
No, sorry, it's okay. Bass says I'm gonna make dinner now. Hope the rest of the stream goes well. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great dinner, and we shall catch you later, friendo.
Yeah, see you later.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. No, I think it would make the limited edition one a little bit more interesting is if they had something on the paper where there'd be like the umbrella logo or something related to the game itself, right?
I mean, I agree. I think that would make it better, for sure. Um, Hold on, I'm just lapping up my logs quick. So it does say it did find corrupted files and successfully repaired them. So
Okay.
ideally, it probably did it. I think there's another thing I can run I just to be safe, but I'm not really too sure. Let me just Google that quick. Um. Oh wait, is this it? No. Okay. Just checking here, checking here. That's that one. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's all I need to do probably. To
Okay.
do. But I'm having fun looking at box arts now. So we're just gonna keep this going for a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, because you gotta admit it's pretty fun, right?
I mean, it is.
So I think I saw the one that yeah. So this must be the one that Bass Ackers is talking about. So this is oh, is this it? Here it is. So this is from Box Art Brawl on a website. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a giant bomb thing. I'm not too sure. But
Okay.
this is the cover for the Japanese version of Resident Evil 4. Ignore like the Nintendo GameCube on the top. I don't think that was there. I'm not too sure though.
Hmm.
To be honest, but like it's all right. I think it's better than the North American one by a bit because it kind of has that mystery to it. There's Leon, and then in the background you have what looks to be a church, right?
Yeah.
With some woods. It's all right. It's still, in my opinion, not as good as say like a lot of the European box arts. Like this one here, and even these two here in particular. I think I kind of prefer like out of all of them. I think I prefer the European for the PS2 version.
Okay.
Just because like this one's not this one. Like this one's pretty good. But I kind of like how the one here shows like the woods being very vast and sparse, right? With
Yeah.
the dreaded like the red in it. Like that's very like invokes dread and like fear and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they just have like the lone chainsaw man wandering the woods. Like honestly, I love Resident Evil 4 as is. But if it was just like a game about you in the woods trying to find a way out with a chainsaw man just like being the villain that finds you occasionally and chases you, I would love that. Right? Like add more to it, obviously, but like I would love that if that's all the game was. I think that'd be great. Um
Yeah, I could see that. That would be fun.
oh, Bass even posted the Japanese one. He posted it in the general channel. I didn't even have to look.
Well, there you go.
And then I think that's it for Resident Evil 4. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna show off like Final Fantasy X and why I like it. Right.
Okay.
Um like the original Final Fantasy X cover. Because I really, really do like this one a lot. Like it's not my favorite. Like I said, Mass Effect is probably my favorite out of all of them.
Okay.
Certainly in terms of like North American stuff, but the Final Fantasy X box art has always just been to me something. Maybe it's because I played the game like when it came out, and so it's like fairly nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm a little biased here, but like I really do like Final Fantasy X's cover because you have like it like so Final Fantasy to this point, I believe, in terms of like games, I don't let's say I don't know much about Final Fantasy 9. We should honestly we should look at the covers for all the Final Fantasies at some point and kind of compare them. But like I know Final Fantasy was very like industrial for a while. I think after 7, it became a lot more
Yeah.
like futury and not as much fantasy, right? Which I know is
Yeah.
what they wanted to change with 10. And you look at this and you can see that, right? You have the ocean, very beautiful, very pretty, right? The beach, once again, very beautiful, very pretty, has the buildings there for some reason that kind of look like ruins, you know? And then you have like the beautiful blue open sky. And then you have the main character, Titus, here. It's not Titus. I don't care what you say, it's Titus. And that's anybody. That's literally to anybody. I know technically it's Titus, but it can also be Titus. Like, don't at me. It's Titus. You have Titus here in the center. You know, it's a bit hard to see like in this resolution, but you know, like he's staring off to the side. He has his sword, which is very iconic for the game. Um, he's in the water. Water very important in the game, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
At least as like a thing. There's a lot of stuff relating to water in Final Fantasy X. Uh,
Yeah.
and then you have Titus like say staring off to the side. But if you're able to see his face, like it's an expression not of like happiness or sadness, just kind of an expression of like, yeah, I guess kind of like weak happiness in a way. Like it's a bit of a smile, but like you know that heavy shit's probably gonna happen, right? It's not gonna be all fun and games. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
And then you have like I always love the Final Fantasy titles. The titles for the games are always amazing, right? Because they always tell you a little something about the game. You know?
Yeah.
In this case, it's Yuna dancing and what appears to be some kind of weird squid-like monster on the other end, right?
Yeah.
So it's very good, and Final Fantasy titles are just like that. They're usually pretty good in that regard. I think even 16 kind of has a very similar thing going because I think it shows like Ifrit on one side and something else on the other. Maybe
Yeah, I think
Phoenix. I
so.
don't actually remember, but
Maybe.
it's very interesting. I love the Final Fantasy titles like a lot. But this box art to me has always given like a sense of adventure in a fantasy land. And then you have like, like these weird floating balls that kind of look like spirits to an extent, right? Some
Yeah.
kind of weird fairy spirit kind of thing. So yeah, to me this one just gives a good sense of like adventure and like freedom, but also like something is more there, right? Like I don't know, this
Yeah.
box art has always given me like really, really good feelings whenever I've looked at it, and
I
especially
mean,
if
that's fair.
like it's really good. What do you think of it, Megan?
I mean, I think it's really good too. I do like how you kind of have the dark clouds in the background,
Hmm.
kind of suggesting that maybe the peacefulness of this place is going to be disturbed by something soon.
Yeah, right. Like that's something I didn't even like really notice myself, but like you're right because the clouds in the back are a little bit darker, and it kind of seems like they're looming. You know?
Yeah, but I think I agree with like pretty much everything else you said. I'm just kind of curious, like what the European and Japanese version of this looks. I think the Japanese is just the logo with Yuna on a white background, but I'm kind of curious about the European one.
Now let's have a look. See, look at Japanese first. Yeah, you're right. Japanese is just kind of the logo, which to be fair, I don't think is bad. I think the North American box art is better between the two. But like
Yeah,
but like I've said to you, I love the title for Final Fantasy. I love the titles that they have. And I like X probably one the most in a way because it's very representative of like the game and very like because unit dancing is important. Like that's another thing that's important in the game, right?
yeah.
Like not like oh big story implication unit dances, right? But like it matters, like it actually does matter to an extent. It's like a point that gets brought up. Then you have like this weird shape over here, which you don't really know what it is, but it looks menacing. And then you have like the color of water forming into like this orange.
Yeah, no, I honestly really do like these covers for Final Fantasy. Like even the other ones I've seen like for 7, 8, and 9, which is the logos on the white background. Like it's really nice. The simplicity of it is really nice.
Yeah. European might have been North America. Or no. Well, okay, so this is international. So this one would be European.
Oh, okay.
Um here, yeah. So here, let me go ahead and put this one up. Hey River, welcome back to the stream. How you doing today, friendo?
Hey, River.
River says, "Heyo, I agree. For me, it's Titus, not Titus. I haven't played FFX though. You should. It's a good game.
It is a fun game.
But yeah, welcome back to the stream. Hopefully, all is well. So here is Final Fantasy X International, which would be the.
Okay.
Maybe this is still Japanese. I'm not actually too sure. I think International may have also been in Europe. I think North America might have been the only one that didn't get it. I'm not.
Probably.
I'm not incredibly sure, but I know International is like a special kind of copy that I think added more.
Oh,
Um,
okay, so extra, probably the Dark Aeon bosses.
yeah, I would have had the Dark Aeon bosses, which we didn't get until the remaster came out.
Yeah. I do
Um,
kinda like this one too, mostly because the scene that it's showing here is very iconic and very
mhm,
important for the game.
yeah,
Like, obviously, without context, you see that they're clearly having what appears to be a very emotional moment inside of a forest and some water with some
yeah,
spirits floating around.
yeah, right. So the like you said, this one out of context is yeah, I feel like it is a bit better in context when you kind of know what is going on. But like you said, it is a very iconic scene in the game. It's literally the scene everybody talks about with Final
Yeah.
Fantasy X. With a song that everybody talks about from Final Fantasy X. It's literally the scene in Final Fantasy X. Like if there is anything that is the scene, it's this one, right? Um
I mean, yeah.
so, very very good. Very good. If you wanted to, you could say it's like a little lazy because I'm pretty sure this is just a screenshot from the game. I'm pretty
It
sure.
is 100% a screenshot from that cinematic. I will say overall, I think I probably like between this one and the North American one, I think I do prefer the North American one just
Mhm,
because it kind of has a lot more going on. You're on the sense of adventure, which does appeal a lot more to the North American audience, I'm sure.
mhm.
But like it also works better out of context than the international one does.
Yeah, yeah, right. So we're both in agreement, at least for this one, that the Final Fantasy X North American case is probably the better one. Actually, did I get your opinion on the Resident Evil ones? I don't know if you actually said your opinion or not.
I mean, I don't believe I did. Like, I'm just trying to remember. Like, honestly, I'd say probably my least favorite is probably the NA one for the GameCube.
Hmm.
I really just don't like the character sitting in the background. I don't really like the pink color because to me, that doesn't really say horror. Like you said,
Hmm.
it's probably to be more of an unsettling thing, but personally, it doesn't work for me. But I also haven't played the game. But I would say out of like all the other ones, like I do like the cover for the Wii for the or the NA one.
The NA one for
Just
the
because
Wii.
you got a lot of stuff in the background, and I mean, you got a little bit more ambiance of, like, what the setting is in the forest and everything. I
Hmm.
do really like the Resident Evil 4 for the PS2, um, the what would be that be the European one? The
The
red one?
the red one is European. Yeah, European is on
Yeah.
the right, Japanese left, North American middle.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that one a lot as well. It's kind of interesting that they had so many different box arts for the same game, though. Like, I don't remember or recall another company doing something like that.
Yeah, RE4 is kind of weird just because you had like the GameCube release, then you had which for all the different countries, of which all of them decided on different box arts, interestingly enough. And then later it came out for the PS2. Like I think a
Yeah.
year later it came out for the PS2. I don't quite remember. And then like after that it came out for the Wii. So it was on like three different consoles, and each region decided to do different box art. You know?
I was gonna make a joke and say, "Oh, it had 4 different releases," but there was that, like, enhanced version that came out on the PS4 as well, so I guess it's technically had 5 different versions of 4.
The enhanced that came out on PS2. What do you mean?
No, on PS4, there was,
Oh,
like,
on
an enhanced
PS4.
RE4 that came out. I don't remember exactly what it's called, it might be just Definitive Edition or
I think
something like that,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it did. I think one did come out on PS4.
but that did come out before the actual remake came out.
Yeah,
So I guess you could argue there's 4 different versions of the original game and then a remake.
yeah. Well, see, that's just how loved RE4 is, right?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the definitive edition on PS4 does use like the Wii North American box art or something very similar to it.
Probably. I can just have a quick peek. I don't know how easy it'd be to find, but I can have like a quick peek. Um. Meanwhile, could you read out what River said, please?
Yeah, so River says, I'm doing all right. How are you both doing? Both doing pretty good. We were in the middle of a Ghost Trick stream and we were having a bit of issues. So while we were waiting for a program to run because he was trying to see if we had any encrypted files, we were talking about video game boxers. So we're just chatting right now.
Yeah, we're just doing some chatting. Okay, so this would be the box art for the PS4 version. So it's just the North American PS2 box art.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the same everywhere, but yeah, it's very basic. They just basically ported the game to PS4 I never picked it up because I didn't really see much of a point owning it again, considering I had it on Steam.
Yeah,
But
fair.
well, and now you have the PS5 version of the remake, so I'm like, I mean, I'll probably play the original back again some point.
I mean, you should. You should definitely play the original. Like the remake is great, but you could play the remake before the original. I just think playing the original, then you can appreciate the remake a bit more, right?
I mean, that's fair.
But yeah. Now, is there any other box arts you think we should look at, or should we attempt to get back to Ghost Trick?
I think we should attempt to get back to Ghost Trick because we are going to try and finish it today, ideally. But I don't know if that will happen considering we had to take like an hour and a half off.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that, Megan.
No, it's fine. It's been fun. I just know we're gonna be doing those challenges and stuff too, so we might have to do one more stream next week, but we'll see.
Yeah, or we could just do a shorter one over the weekend. To
That's
be
true.
fair,
We could do that too.
because like if it's just the challenges, you can just say like, "Hey, we're here for the challenges."
Yeah, like we'll see how far along the main game we get by the time we get to like I assume around normal stream end time, whether we want to run late or if we're gonna just save it for another stream.
Yeah, well, this would be around. Like, do you mean normal is in the 5 hour or normal is in the 3 hour?
Like the 5 hour, like around 6 or so when you would end on the longer streams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, we can go till then.
Yeah, like we'll see where we're at by then.
Yeah. Okay, so you can consider this a beta version of my idea of looking at video game box arts. Because I think they're interesting. I think video game box arts are really interesting and really underappreciated, if I'm being honest. And I think it's fun to look through them, have a bit of a discussion, see what's good and what's not, right?
Yeah.
Even going through the different versions. Like I think it's really fun. So I would like to do more of these, personally. Maybe not like while we're doing, yeah, technical difficulties, right? But I think it's fun. Yeah, I think it's really really enjoyable to just kind of look at these and have a discussion and appreciate, because someone probably worked hard on some of these. I mean, some of them not as much, particularly well the year like the Japanese RE4, to be honest. But like for the Wii, I mean. But
Yeah.
like, some people work hard on these, and I'm sure there's a lot of like probably, I know it's gonna sound weird, like science behind it.
Yeah.
At least for the bigger companies to go like, okay, well, this is what draws a player's eye. Well, this is a scene we could use from the game. Like this is something we can reference to. Yeah, like it's all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime in the future to. I'll just look at more because I like video game box arts. And if anybody has any suggestions, like please feel free to toss them our way, because I don't know every video game out in existence. But I
Neither do I.
do. Yeah, exactly, right. But I do know a lot of you have played a lot of different types of video games. And maybe you have some favorites, maybe you have some that you hate. And well, I'd love to see them, because then we can talk about them and have a good time. Have a good discussion.
Yeah.
Or maybe even I can convince you, if you hate something, maybe I can kind of pull what I did with Megan and go like, hey, no, this is actually pretty okay, and here's my reasoning.
I mean, that's fair. I didn't it didn't occur to me that when he was going through the fog wall that there was like the images of the souls there. I think that's kind of what turned me over because I'm like, yeah, okay. Like you said, it's all his different lives essentially going through the fog gate and he's still trying again to try and defeat the monster.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Right?
to me it
So
just
see.
looked like he was going through a portal. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of boring.
Yeah, so see, if you really look at a box art, you can notice all these fun little details.
I mean, yeah, like I would like to go and look through even some of my box arts I have here. So next time we talk about this, I'm a little bit more, I guess, educated about what I would like to actually talk about.
Yeah, right. Like if anybody's watching this on like YouTube later or something, or even on the stream, and goes like, well, I'm not, I was seem just kind of like all over the place and not really coherent. That's because it literally was. Because this
Yeah,
just kind of very impromptu. Let's just do it because I have time. It's better than just sitting here like watching a number go up. You know.
yeah,
So it's like, well, we have time. Let's box arts. Like let's talk about some, right? Next time it'll be more structured, because next time we'll probably actually be able to go, hey, these are the ones I want to talk about today, and then we'll probably have them all
yeah.
lined up already and ready to go, right?
Yeah, and have all the images open already.
Yeah, and yeah, and have all the images open already, and maybe even have some talking points, right? Because I don't know, I might have some that maybe I won't show Megan, and then but I know about them, and then we can talk about it. Maybe she'll have some box arts that she won't show me until it's time, right? And then we can talk about there too. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was fun. I had fun talking about these.